Thank you, sir. What's going on, everyone? Pressure 7 here. I'm just gonna do a quick bearing change on my Saltiga SAGLD35JH. I had noticed prior to my trip on my last video on February 16th out of H&M landing on the horizon, prior to going out on the boat, I had noticed that when I would reel this in, it was a little rough. So I took it apart, oiled it, greased it, checked some of the bearings, but I didn't really tear it down like it is right now. I put it back together and it still was kind of rough. So after the trip, I took this thing apart, and this bearing right here where the crank is, right inside here, had seized up. So yeah, unfortunate, but we're fighting the salt water, so just be prepared with your gear, even the high-end gear or whatnot. You buy it, you rinse it off, you dry it, you take care of it very nicely, but you're still gonna have issues. So I did pick up quite a few bearings. I'm going with the steel bearings with the steel seals, as well as I'm going to try these rubber seal ones too. Most of these are these SKF bearings, made in Japan. Some of them are made in Italy, so made in Italy as well. I got these off of 123bearing.com. Yeah, they just have everything. You just got to measure them out. The inner, the outer diameter, and the thickness of it, or the width, right? And you can replace all your bearings. So I ordered 2 for each bearing on this reel. And just for future use, I'm just going to stick all of these inside the box. So if ever any of them go out, I have replacements. So the steel wall seal, and of course the rubber seal. I'm gonna run both, but for this one, when I replace this one right now, I'm gonna toss in just the steel one, and then if I ever get any that seize up later on, which I'm sure they will, because the same things happened on my LD15 that I did another video on. So yeah, so this thing's all taken apart and greased up, and I'm just going to grease up the bearings one more time before I slap them back in. I did take out the drag washer and grease that up too with the Daiwa drag grease. So let's get this thing back together. Hopefully I can do it in one shot. I don't like to do too many edits, except for like if I'm reeling from like super deep to get that fish up, for the try to keep the fishing videos nice, short and sweet. So let's try to get this thing back together in one shot. If I do any edits, then my fault, but so this is one of my favorite reels. This is my first jigging reel, as far as pairing it with the Jigging Master pole that I got as well. I love that thing. And just the pairing itself, I love everything about it. Action. At first I thought it was a little light, but it really puts good action on the jig when it's down there in the water. So I just gotta grease all this stuff off real good, because I cleaned this off right now before I started recording. So let's see, I did fairly well on that last trip too. Just want to thank everyone for checking out my vids. I don't really tell anyone to like and subscribe, but like and subscribe, please. That would be great. Subscribe over anything. I would love to get monetized, get myself a boat, get out there and do some fishing. Maybe, take people out too on some trips. That would be nice. But aside from that, I'm not going to push that too hard. As far as like, smash that like button, smash that subscribe, because I figure, I'm just doing this, I enjoy it, and yeah. So here's that new bearing. So this one's trash now, and this is that new bearing. So I did speak with the people at 123bearing.com. They said as far as like putting them in, you do want to grease the sides of the bearing, and that's what I'll be doing. So for all the bearings, when I put them back in, no oil, they recommended grease. So I'm using this Daiwa, I think it's like space age grease or something like that. So I'm just gonna do that on both sides before I start putting this all back together. And yeah, it's grease, so it's gonna get messy. That's a nice fit right there. Grease this up. There's a tiny little washer right here for the bearing, so, and I figure if there's grease all over my hands, I should be good to go. As far as, I'm not going to worry about keeping it too clean. I want this all nice and greased up, because this is the main gear right here. And this is a single speed, so that, and then this part right here, I'm gonna hit it with a little bit more. Okay, I don't really want to wipe off any of this grease, so, because I want it to kind of be all over everything, as far as on the bearings and on the shaft and whatnot. And it'll help with the corrosion, salt water getting in and whatnot. But with these reels, I do really, I rinse them off after every trip. I rinse them off with some hose water, and then I rinse them off right afterwards with some bottled water or sometimes water from filtered water from the fridge, and then that's kind of it. I wipe them down, dry them off, and still I get this whole bearing issue. So you're investing in these high-end reels. I don't know, I guess you could send them in to Daiwa, or you can do this stuff yourself. I'm gonna get this one in. Yeah, of course this one goes on the other side, so. In there. It's crazy because this thing has so many bearings and none of them are the same size. They're all different sizes. And I just want to grease all these up. I'm going to probably order one more of these. But as far as my other reel with the LD15, that thing still has those ceramic bearings in there. But I did have to change one of the ceramic bearings out because it just put too much pressure on it, and when I even when I put line on it, that thing failed, so that was no good on that. So this one goes in here where the drag goes. Nice and greasy, everything is going to be all dirty. Okay. Goes there, and then I believe this one goes down here, so watch me mess up, but you know, none of the bearings are like size, so they're all just going to fit in their respective areas. Let's do a rating on this reel. Love this reel for jigging. As far as slow pitch jigging, I like it. I know that typically you want to go a lot lighter. It's a heavy reel, so, but it's, I don't know, I really like it. I don't think it's too heavy, but as far as like, I have another reel, the one with the line counter, the Saltiga, the IC300. That thing's a lot lighter, and I have another one as well that I haven't even taken out of the box yet, only for the open box video. That is on my channel as well. So some of this grease I'm going to take off while I put this part back together, or maybe I'll just get this back on like this. Without taking it apart. Or without wiping this grease off. That's the drag. This is ready to put back together. This is gonna go right here. Let's Move this out of the way. I did mess up. There we go. That wasn't too bad, right? Okay. There we go, back in business. So this one goes back over here. I'm surprised I didn't feel that right away, but there we go. Okay. Okay, now this part was a little tricky. I'm gonna take these gloves off now. And there's gonna be one more bearing that's gonna go right okay, so I have one more bearing right here. Goes right in there for the drag. There. Let's go back over here and we'll finish this off real quick with the drag, just so this is back together. So bearing goes in there. I put a little extra drag grease, so this will be ready to go. And line these up. And this has that spring right there. Look at, I got grease all over my spool, but that's okay. Just wipe that off. I got a little on my line too, so oh well, I guess I'm gonna have to get back out there on a trip and get this rinsed off, huh? And there's no Loctite on these ones. There's Loctite on these ones right here. But not on these four on the sides. Did take a while, maybe an additional week for the, as far as like shipping from this place, because they're shipping from France, so this 123 bearing place, but I was able to get the bearings that I wanted. Did select, like I said, the rubber sealed and the steel ones. They recommended to replace with the exact same type of bearing, and of course the Daiwa ones had a steel wall seal, and these were also, what brand are these? NMB bearings. And I did, like I said, wanted to go for the SKF, made in Japan, made in Italy. I wanted the best bearings I could get, considering, you know, even better than the bearings that come stock with the Daiwa Saltiga. So I'm just gonna get this closed up. I'll tighten it down a little bit more afterwards, right before I put it back together. Or maybe I should just tighten it down right now. So let's just do that. And I'm gonna use a flat head with this. Maybe this will fit, but probably not. So I don't want to overly aggressively tighten these, but I just want to make sure they're seated nice and tightened down nice. Okay, so this peg goes in here, no grease there, but this is all greased up and ready to go. And this peg goes in another area also, so make sure I'm getting everything back where it belongs. This will go back in here. Just want to drop a little bit of oil in there. Before I slip this back in. These parts can be a little bit tricky, but if you get so that's that for oil. Okay, now I've had this open for a little while as far as waiting for the bearings to come in, so bear with me for 1 second. I just want to re-pull this out and double check I got everything in the right spot. There's that thin washer. Okay, so let's slip this back in. Okay, so I think I am going to take this part out right here. Sorry about that, I did stop the video. There was a peg in here that I had to look for. Of course, this thing's been open for, like I said, a couple weeks while I was waiting for the bearing. But we'll get back on track right now. Once again, I'll add a little bit more grease before I slap that part back on. But I'm gonna lift these up a little bit more because I don't want to bend these parts right here. There's these little flaps right here that hold this stopping mechanism. So I'm gonna pull them up and put them on this, and then slide it back down into position. Hopefully it goes nice and smooth, because I have a feeling it won't, but I guess I'll find out right now. And of course I keep leaning this off. Let's put this on right here so it stops sliding down. Okay, there. Well, won't be too bad. I just take this off. I'll take this other one off. Okay, this won't be too bad because this will stick right on this anti-reverse mechanism right here. There. And we'll just line this up with those holes. One right there. And we'll move this over 2 spots. right there. Okay, there and there. Perfect. And a little grease. Now I'm just going to get grease all over my hands, so because there was grease over here previously. It goes there, and this goes here. And these will only fit kind of one way because they have that little groove for the screw. So there. Okay. After that little hiccup, I think we're okay now. Let's get these tightened down a little bit. Not over tightening these, but you know, just getting them down. Okay, no more internal parts. Everything's in here as far as gears all greased up. I'll probably hit this one more time. No, you know what? I think there's plenty of grease in there already, so but you know, I guess it doesn't hurt to hit it again, like right there. So as that comes off, there, nice and greased up in that gear right there. Let's see. These are all ready to put back together. So let me stick this on right here. Yeah, I think I'm done. So let's just put this back together right here. Oh, no, one more thing. I did want to hit this part right here because there was a little layer right here. Not much, but there was some little grease right here when I took this apart, so there. There. All right, now I'm going to slap this back together and then we should be done. I'll just Loctite it up. And this part is kind of springy. So, and there is a little residual Loctite in there, in that hole right there. I missed that one, so I'm just gonna clean that out real quick. There, see how that just popped up. I don't know if you saw that, but I sure did. Alright, this is going to be little. Alright, and that's all she wrote for my SAGLD35JH. It feels a lot better. It was very rough right here as I was reeling it when I would put it in the gear. It felt like it was getting stuck right here. Like, see, it's falling down even with the even when it's in gear. I can't pull drag on it, so it's running a lot nicer. Don't be afraid to service your reels, you guys. It does look a little daunting, like I've said before. I did pick up these bearings. I did stick with that steel walled one. Eventually, I mean, we're fighting against salt water, you guys. There's no getting around it. You're gonna get hit with, you know, seized up bearings, rust, stuff like that. I want to try one more time, maybe these hybrid ceramic bearings, but like I said, I do have 2 ceramic bearings in my LD15. I have taken that out a couple times. It performs well, but one of the spool bearings on the end, that takes a lot of pressure. When I was getting it re-spooled, it did give out, but there are still 2 ceramic bearings still in there. I do have some bearings from this place, 123 bearings, with some steel walls, so in case those do ever go out, then I can just replace them. But yeah, these bearings do look nice. as far as the rubber sealed ones, as well as the steel wall sealed ones too. So I picked up, like I said, these SKF bearings, Japanese made. I wanted to step up from the ones that were in here already. This thing feels nice once again. Feels brand new. Yeah, I can't wait to get it back out there and re-break it in, as far as that one bearing in there. But everything feels good, feels like it's running smooth. Can't wait to get it back out there and do that slow pitch jigging with this thing once again. All right, thanks for watching, you guys, and we'll see you guys next time. See you guys out there.